introduce myself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, I am Marquitta Brown. I attended University of Florida oof, August 2006 and graduated in May 2009. I am now a police officer with the Gainesville Police Department here in town. I've been there for, this is my 7th year. And that's me. I mean, I graduated from here with a bachelor's in criminal justice. I did my minor in family youth and community sciences, which was awesome. And
Bachelor for Opportunity Scholar.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And so how I made it through the University of Florida was definitely, I was blessed to be a Florida Opportunity Scholar, as well as, I forget the other scholarship, was it with?
Manumba?
No, with Mike Powell. It was,
Minority Ambassador Program?
no, I can't think of the name of it right now, but it helped, definitely. So that was definitely a great opportunity, which I definitely appreciated. I left college with 0 debt to pay back, so awesome.
That's great.
Do you want to share a few of your experiences in college, like some of the things that you were involved in, what your experience was like, what you enjoyed about UF?
So when I came to University of Florida, it was just like an overwhelming, just a freedom, I guess. But I stayed on campus in the dorm with one of my best friends that I knew from high school, and we stayed right there at Simpson. We stayed on the 5th floor, which actually felt like the 6th floor. We shared the community bathroom, so that was challenging. But the one thing that helped me, which was just my outlet, was Southwest Rec. I practically lived there. I would go there, play basketball all night long. I loved it. But I got involved in intramural sports. And one of the good things was I didn't know anything about intramural sports, but someone had I put my name on like the free agent list. Someone contacted me, and I didn't know any of these people, but they were so friendly. It was a diverse group. I began working out with them, training with them, and so they got me into flag football, which led to my, I guess I can say, superstar, a superstar of intramural sports. But then I, kind of grew, got my own team together, and it just became this big family thing. My team, I never forget, we were called the Drought. So
Is that reference to the Wayne album?
Yeah, that's what it was during that time. I was a big Lil Wayne fan back in college. I listened to it while I was studying at the libraries. But anyhow, we ended up playing like basketball, football. That took me into playing for the Swamp Bowl. I then started working at the rec center, so that was my little part-time job, and so that was life at University of Florida for me, at least my first 3 years, pretty much. And then towards the end of my 3rd year, let's see, I began looking into Greek life. It was exposed to me, and it was cool. It was awesome. So started doing some research and everything, and attending a lot of events. And I joined Zeta Phi Beta sorority. And that was awesome. That was in the spring of 2009. And I made wonderful connections, which is actually one of the connections was how I got my job with the Gainesville Police Department. So sorority life was exactly what, we said it is. It's a lot of networking and meeting good people that will definitely look out for you. So that happened. And let's see, my most memorable moment in my favorite class ended up being Yoruba. And I didn't know what that was. I just knew I needed to take a language. And so I said, I'll take Yoruba. And I don't even know if I'm saying it right. But and it's funny because the professor was Obeni Kole. That was his name. And I still see him like every day I go to work. I see him every day. And he remembers me. But I actually met my husband in that class. And so it was kind of like fate, because I knew nothing about Yoruba. He knew nothing about Yoruba. So it's like,
Let's get married.
Yeah. But well, the story before that is that he tried to write me on he wrote me on Facebook first, like 6 months prior to this class, and I turned him down. Cause it's college, it's Facebook. Everybody tries to talk to somebody on Facebook, like, whatever. And so 6 months later, we have this class together, and so we began to talk, and it's been ever since. And now we're married now. I have twins, a little boy and a girl, and so he's a police officer now too as well, and he was a Sigma, so Sigma Zeta connection there. But anyhow, that's that part of my life. Life is good, but thanks to the University of Florida.
What drew you to the criminal justice field?
So, ever since probably the age of 5, seriously, like, true story, I would always get a police set for Christmas. Like, I've always wanted to be a cop. It's just ever since. So, going into, like, middle school, high school, like, I've always done things that involve being around the police. So even like the high school that I chose back in Miami, I only went there because they had a criminal justice program in which I graduated with 24 college credits, which is why you probably hear me, I say I came 2006 and I graduated 2009. So I graduated a whole year early because of that. So it was never any doubt as to what I wanted to do. It was clear cut. But what I did get exposed to when I came to the University of Florida was I saw that they had the Family Youth and Community Services major/minor. And so that part of it took me more into, I've always wanted to work with kids. That's just my passion. Like being a police officer this is the dream career, but then working with kids and youth is like my passion. So it's like I'm living a dream right now. I get to do both at the same time. That's what I do at Gainesville Police Department right now is I'm the juvenile gang detective. So I get to work with teenagers, mostly from age of 13 to 17 years old. And it involves, just building relationships, helping out their families, figuring out what they need, what they don't have, exposing them to different things. We offer life skills. I get to coach basketball. I just have fun when I'm at work. So, it's overwhelming sometimes because it's like, it's just me. And so I try to work with a group of 10 kids at a time, but it's like hundreds of other kids need help. And then I can't just let go of the 10 kids. Oh, you're done now, so I got to move on. So it can be overwhelming, but my passion for it, I enjoy getting up to go to work every day. So criminal justice is just, that was the title they put on me wanting to be a police officer. So that's how I got into criminal justice. So, questions? I think one of the questions she asked me was, well, that was that question. Man. I think she asked me how did I get into like the position that I'm doing now, how the University of Florida helped me. So one of my classes, in order to complete my minor, actually, I had to do an internship. So so I chose, at the time it was called, they called it GOMI. That's what the juveniles called it. But it was basically it was a youth program. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was way out Micanopy. And at the time, I remember gas was like $4.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I had to call my mom, like, hey, can you put a few dollars to financial aid roll around again? It was breaking me. I had an old Ford Taurus, so it was a gas guzzler too. But anyhow, working at that program, I actually got a chance to meet juveniles that were, their records were just like, it was shocking because even in Miami, like, you know people that do things, but none of my friends ever, was in a juvenile system or arrested or anything. So working there or interning there as a case manager, I was exposed to like a lot. And so it really pushed me more like, okay, I gotta be a cop, man. I gotta get to where I could work with juveniles because these kids are just kind of too far gone. But I began to make, contacts. And what's funny is that when I became a cop, I met some of those very same kids who now were adults, but in and out of jail, unfortunately. But that just pretty much drove me, like, I have to do this. And then during those times as well for the criminal justice major, I had to do ride-alongs with local law enforcement. So I did about maybe 3 or 4 of those, and it was awesome. It was like, there's no question, like, I have to do this. So, and I mean, when I was on patrol, I think the best thing about that, people always ask me, what's your favorite thing about being a cop? It's driving. I love to drive. Oh yeah. You hit those oh man, you hit those license sirens and it's like, oh my God. And I mean, I like to think that I'm a good driver, so it's oh my God. But what was I gonna say? Just every day it's something different. Like, you don't come into work and say, okay, you know this is gonna happen. You don't know what's gonna happen. So I like the fact that when I come to work, it's something different. It's never a dull moment. Even now, it's like I plan out my day. Okay, I need to get this done. I write out my list. Maybe 2 things gets done just because more piles up. But, I got 20-something more years until retirement. So it'll be there. I don't let the stress be. I think I met you in one of our, I did a presentation. Yeah. So that's something else I do presentations on gang awareness, and gang prevention and stuff. So that's fun too.
Do you feel that you see yourself staying in this position for
not living the dream, right?
It's like, so as a police officer, I inspire to, promote, but promotion, you have to give up, your other assignments. So right now I'm just kind of like, what I'm doing, I feel like it's bigger than me. It's more, God has me ministering to parents and families and children. And so to give this up right now, I just couldn't. I'd have to pass on whatever comes. Now, if they want to promote me and keep me here, that's awesome. That's like the best of both worlds. Plus, my position and my schedule right now for my family is good. And no matter what, me and my husband, we're both, family comes first with whatever we do with this job, because it can be a lot. It's very demanding. Like when you first start out, you don't have a choice as to what schedule you work. So like, my year where I had to work midnights was rough. Seriously, like, especially on my health. I had migraines probably like every night. And so it took a lot. And then when he became a cop, like a year later, it was sometimes we wouldn't even see each other because of, the opposite schedule. So now we're at a good point where, he's a detective. He works Monday through Friday. I work Monday through Thursday. So I wouldn't give that up right now.
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
First thing I wanted to ask you about is, so GP was, in the media a couple months ago with that pretty famous "Hoops Not Crime" sort of thing that happened. Can you speak maybe on the long-term impact of that? Just because since it is working with youth in the community, and if that's just something that happened and then the morale is whatever it is again, or has that actually had long-term effect on it?
Are you talking about basketball cop?
Yes.
I do not know exactly how that came about. And,
okay, it's a totally different area.
Yeah, totally different area.
Okay.
So I can't really speak on that one.
Gotcha. I follow GPD on in social media accounts, so they're pretty good about keeping everything relatively active. Second question I have for you kind of maybe relates more to the direct work that you do. So you mentioned earlier how you're working with this group of students or youth in the community, and then you know that there are definitely hundreds who are not necessarily being reached out to. Can you speak on what you've maybe seen works in terms of what are community members doing right that works, or what can people in higher education do outreach-wise that could work?
Oh, this is right up my alley now.
Great.
So, I'll just give you actually what we're about to do. So, going into the summer, let me rewind. Last summer, give you the history. All right, so every summer, pretty much, or during spring breaks, whenever we're on a break from school and kids are out, we have a lot of fights, neighborhood fights. So they begin to get, kind of out of control, people getting hurt, people getting injured. So last summer, I had built a relationship with one of the youth that was constantly in gang fights and getting in trouble. And so I asked him, I said, what can I do to help to keep you out of trouble for the summertime? And so we sat down and we came up with the entire summer program to where we were doing field trips, but we were also giving them like life skills. The whole concept was to keep them busy so they can stay out of the streets. And it worked. It worked. They didn't get in trouble. They were excited about getting up, meeting with us. It was 13 of them, and then, at least 5 of them had never been to the beach, had never even seen a beach. And then I even used some of our sororities from the University of Florida, and beforehand we talked to them about etiquette, how to talk to a young lady, things like that. And so then we put them to the test by having these play dates. And we took them to a nice restaurant, and they dressed up. We brought them at least a shirt and tie, some slacks, some shoes, and it was just the best thing that had ever happened to them. It was just some of the things we did, but so going into this summer, we're planning to do the same thing and add more events and activities and choose more kids this year. So we're actually reaching out to a lot of the community and people that are willing to just help out with funding, people who are willing to come out, speak to the kids, open up, whatever business that they may have. So I was just getting Will here about maybe set something up with the Greeks so that they can be exposed to that. But even last year we do college tours. We took them to Aquatica, the water park in Orlando. We did mechanical skills training. We do we did mock interviews with them to try to prepare them for getting a job. So I guess for outreach purposes, especially people in the higher learning education, I say the main thing that actually worked is either getting them a job, employment, and then also just activities that will keep them busy, but at the same time that's giving them something positive. Because the whole thing with the gang is that, we spent that time with them during the summer. It didn't take them out of their gang, but it gave them hope and another look that, okay, there's more than this gang. I can replace the gang with other things that they just don't know about. So I think, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
So, if you want to be involved, volunteers are definitely needed.
I want to be involved. How can you get involved?
I'm the girl. Definitely, man. So I'll give you my information stuff before I leave. So I think we hit all of her questions that she asked me. So.
Question. How do you feel about police brutality involved with Black Lives Matter? How that's coming?
I'm not going to comment on that, unfortunately, but yeah. So I'm sorry.
Who inspired you, and did you have any role models or mentors in college that really made an impact? Whether it's faculty, I know you talked about your was it your yoga professor that you still see? Anyone else that kind of served as a mentor, role model that was helpful in kind of what that impact was for you?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know if I say more like a role model, but
or even peers who might have been influential.
I had about at least 2 professors that just were really good in the way that they taught the things, the curriculum that I just really enjoyed, that I was passionate about. But peer-wise, I don't know. Honestly, during college, it was one of those things where I really drew into God, honestly. My faith, that's what got me through college, because I remember leaving college, you know, my family, it just wasn't, you know, the greatest support system, and college wasn't even really talked about at home. So going through college and actually being in it, I lost contact with a lot of friends, not because anything happened, just life. And then I gained a lot of new friends that were, you know, more on the same level, just positive, trying to get somewhere and be somewhere in life, and that definitely helped. And just the friends that I came up here with, you know, we were family. So, and basketball, football was my outlet. So.
What advice do you give to the students who don't feel that college is necessarily for them? I'm not an advocate for that, because I know a lot of people believe that college is not for them. But I believe the opposite. Like, if you go to school, you can get something out of it. But what do you say to those teenagers and youth who don't necessarily feel that they have a good chance at succeeding in college or even going to college?
Good question. So, what we usually do, even when we take our youth on college tours, you know, we'll take them to the University of Florida, but we also take them to Santa Fe. Santa Fe offers a lot of vocational and trades versus, you know, just academics. And so we expose them to those things like that. But I also, what I tell the kids that I work with is, you know, for one, that's fear talking, or that's somebody older that told you that, because you haven't been exposed to it to form your own opinion. It's just something that you're going through now, and oh, you know, school is this, and you know, somebody's told them probably that they can't do it. And so I tell them, I encourage them to say, look, you know, you can do anything you put your mind to. And, you know, don't shut stuff out before at least trying it. And so a lot of times when I get with these kids, a lot of them are just scared. Like, I have 2 now that I helped get back into school, and they're actually graduating in April. The closer it gets to their graduation, they are terrified. They have no idea, like, what's going to happen next. It's like they're trying to sabotage it. So I'm constantly, like, you know, mentoring them, you know, listen, stay in it. You came too far to, you know, quit now. Here's some things you can do afterwards. You know, let's start looking into some jobs now that fits you. You know, what are you interested in? And a lot of times I just try to ask them, you know, well, what do you see yourself doing? And so, you know, a lot of these kids are very talented. And the things that they want to do, I say, okay, well, look, in order to do that, you got to go through school. So, like, for example, I got one kid that wants to do graphic design. Okay, maybe not go to school for graphic design, but maybe business. That way you can start your own business, you know. One kid can cut hair. Business, you know. So I just try to just give them examples of other things that they can do. So. You like you got a question.
I think you mentioned previous time I met you, so.
Okay.
I was going to ask you about your time at Santa Fe Police Academy. How was that?
Oh man, Police Academy.
Because I've been doing that in August, so.
Oh, that was rough, man. I'm not gonna lie, like, I guess because I just kind of went into everything really fresh. Like, for example, I only applied to one police department, and that was the Gainesville Police Department. I had no idea the hiring process. I didn't really have anybody to talk to about it, or I didn't know to talk to them about it. And so I went in just fresh. And so what happens is when you go for your interviews, the physical part, it's like, yeah, whatever. I smoked that. But the oral board, you go in, and it's like a big table like this. I'm sitting in the middle, and there's 4 people that's not smiling. They're just sitting there like, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I have no idea what the questions are going to be. Nothing. So they start asking me questions, and it's all police related scenarios. And I'm like, man, all I have is my common sense to go off of. Like, I don't know. And I aced it.
Really?
So, and the only thing, honestly, I will say, one of my classes helped because, so I had one professor here, it was criminology. Because it was either, it was criminal law. Yeah. Because it was either you take criminal law or criminal procedures. I spent one day in criminal procedures and I was like, no, I don't want this. Because it was more so leading to, legal and
stuff, yeah.
So anyhow, the test that he gave was not multiple choice. It was, here's the scenario, and you have to write a response, but you have to put everything in it. And so that's the only thing that my mind went back to. I was like, okay, here's how I'm gonna answer these questions, and they let you write. So I was like, okay, they will give you a scenario, and then they'll give you A, B, C, or D. Which one would you choose? So I basically answered my question, like, okay, I wouldn't choose A because blah, blah, blah. B is, so I went through the whole thing like that, and so I pretty much aced it. It was funny because my husband, he took the test the same day, and he came out like after 15 minutes. And then he waited on me, but I didn't come out till like maybe like 45 minutes. He was like, what's the difference? I was like, I don't know. So long story short, he failed, I passed.
Oh,
So anyhow, he passed it the next time around, a year later. So it all worked out. But so yeah, I started the police academy, and I don't know. I mean, I like to think that I was, not so sheltered. But in the police academy, it was just kind of like, every man for themselves, competition, because everybody wants a job. Everybody wants to get hired. And so, I got exposed to a lot of racism, I'll be honest. And it was just like, you hear about things, but to be in it and a part of it, it was like, okay, So, it was tough in that aspect. And I think the target was more on me because I actually ended up getting hired. That Sarah Lena Lawson actually helped me get hired. She's a Zeta. And so I got hired. And being hired prior to starting the police department, the police academy, I meant, it's a big deal, because pretty much I'm going through the academy and I'm getting paid. Already I don't have to worry about anything. When I finish, I got a job. So that was a big target that was put on me, but I handled it. And I think the hardest part was like here, the tests are here. You get your grades, police academy, pass fail, you're out. Even though you paid all your money, you're out.
Yeah.
So studying for me, that was easy, but the hard part was I think I almost failed out when I had to shoot a shotgun, and the shotgun was just way too much kickback for me, and so my shoulders bruised. I was crying. I felt like twice, so I had one more chance. And so my husband had a shotgun at the time at home. I didn't load it up, but I just kept practicing at home, just repetition of picking it up, pulling it up, and so it helped. And I went back and I passed. But the police academy itself, I mean, you just have to be mentally prepared. I'm sure it's not like what we hear about military boot camp and stuff. Nothing like that, but it's still enough to, try to mentally break you. So, but other than that, we learned a lot. And in the police academy, you're taught, everybody's going to kill you. Those are the videos that you watch on YouTube, cops getting killed. And so, my family was like, I don't want you to do this, and I'm like, Mom, I can handle it. It's, they have to show you that stuff because they use it for training purposes for you to, know, how to police. So you'll get through it, but it was tough for me. It was.
So knowing what you know now, following your path from like 5 years old to wanting to be a police officer, and now you're a police officer, what would you tell yourself in college? Like, what advice would you give Marquitta in college? like things to do, things not to do, opportunities to take advantage of, what advice would you give?
Have as much fun as you can.
Indeed.
Like, no, seriously, because once I got to the point where, okay, I'm graduating, I had just joined my sorority, and I remember I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Like, number one thing was I was not going back home to live with my parents. I had to make that like a priority. So I'm about to graduate. I go see my admissions person, and I'm like, okay, can I just go ahead and take FYCS as a major now? And they're like, no, you can't stay. So I'm like, man, I don't get to spend time with my sorority. I'm in this now, and I've only really been in it for, a month, and I'm graduating, and it's too fast. I don't know what I'm doing. And so it was good that I got right into going to the police academy, but all of my fun was just like stopped. I couldn't play intramural sports anymore. That was my life. And so I just was like, I grew up fast. And I mean, yeah, it worked out, because how many people can say that, when they graduated, they went right into a career. Like, I have friends now that's, still kind of job to job, and I have 7 years vetted into my career, which is good. So, and now, married with kids, which is a good thing too, but it's like, man, where did those years go? You graduated and that's it. Nobody else to take care of you, no financial aid to save you.